Ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, welcome to the Community Spotlight Podcast. Today's conversation is about transformation, real transformation, the kind that doesn't come from comfort, but from challenge, the kind that asks you to build or rebuild yourself when life strips you down to your most vulnerable state. Imagine being 29 years old, navigating breast cancer, and losing not just your hair, but a piece of your identity. Now imagine choosing not to stay in that space of loss, but instead creating something beautiful from it. Today, we're talking about resilience, creativity, and redefining what empowerment looks like through the fashion and self expression. This is a story about turning pain into purpose, about reclaiming confidence, and about building something that now impacts people across the world. Because sometimes what we create to heal ourselves ends up also healing others too. Our guest, Sonya Keshwani, the founder of StyleEsteem Wardrobe, has an inspiring story of resilience and creativity. In addition to her groundbreaking work in fashion, Sonia is on the board of Twist Out Cancer, served as a Susan G. Komen NYC Power Ambassador, is the Rear Commodore at the Old Greenwich Yacht Club, and is a faculty member at Columbia University. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the podcast, Sonya Keshwani. Woo! Sonia, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Yes, yes. I'm so excited that you're here and that we are here with some of your beautiful pieces and that we're going to get right into your story because let me tell you, when I first met you, I already could feel your amazing energy. And when we spoke, I said, she has to come on the community spotlight. And I just also want to share with the audience that she is our very first podcast guest. So a round of applause to that because you're making history, girlfriend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so honored.
Of course, of course. So take us back. And if anything feels difficult for you to talk about, you're more than welcome to take a pause. But your story is so powerful. So take us back to that moment at 29 years old. What was going through your mind when you got that diagnosis?
Yeah, so looking back now, it's something that came out of the complete and total blue.
Mm-hmm.
I was 29 years old. I was not thinking about breast cancer. I was not in the age group where I had to be vigilant about that. And I also didn't have any family history. But that's the first mistake I realized is we associate genetic history with breast cancer, and it is something that is actually very prevalent beyond genetic history. So when I first felt something unusual in the shower,
Yeah.
just while taking a regular shower like we all do, I knew that that was not normal for my body.
Yeah.
And I didn't let the internet or any doctor tell me otherwise. I advocated for myself until I understood what was actually going on. And so in those first few moments, of course, there's worry and paranoia and fear. But I quickly realized that, pursuing the truth was a very good thing to lean on in a time when I had a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you immediately did. I guess this is an educational moment. I guess for our audience watching, women, but also men, right? Because breast cancer can affect us all at any point, right?
Yes.
It's not necessarily like you said, this age bracket,
Correct.
right? Um, so you gave us a little bit about how you found it, and then you go through the process of getting health care,
Yeah.
and you go through those steps, and of course, it's like stressful, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going through the doctor's appointments, trying to figure it out. Take us a little bit through that journey. What did that feel like? Did you feel supported? Did you not feel supported? Did you have a team of people? Did you have
Yeah.
family and friends that supported you?
Yes. So at the time, I was living and working in Washington, D.C. For the government, and I decided to get treated here in New York City because this is home. This is where my family is, and this is where I feel like my most powerful self. So in that big shift that happened, where I was now living between two cities and getting chemotherapy every 3 weeks and doing multiple surgeries, I think I had such an amazing support system, and I know I'm blessed for that because not everyone gets that. I had doctors that took me seriously. I had my parents that showed up for all the appointments. I had my friends, just a few people that I told. I didn't, this wasn't me 8 years ago. I wasn't sitting on a podcast being loud and proud about, my situation. But at the time, I told the people that were most important and closest to me, and they showed up for me. So I was really blessed to have that because the
Yes.
treatment did go on for a whole year. And to be honest, it continues to till today. I'm on a 10-year protocol, of which I've done 8, and I have two more to go. And I'm
All
very
right.
excited about that. But
Yes.
it's an everyday thing when you're a recovering cancer patient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that because I
Hmm.
think it's really important for our audience just to know, like, hey, take the proper steps. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel ashamed. I'm sure
Hmm.
there's like a lot of shame and stigma that people
Yeah.
feel like they don't even want to share their story. But get the help that you need, right?
Of
And
course.
find your support system. And it could be your family, your friends, it
Hmm.
could be your providers. So that's super important. And thank you for sharing that. So now we're going to go to the creative part. Now, you started StyleEsteem when?
So I started StyleEsteem the year after I got diagnosed because it actually began as a personal experiment where I really wanted some head coverings that I could wear during travel and when I wasn't at the office because wearing a wig all the time became really difficult for me. The
Mm,
side effects of hair loss are pretty severe, and I wasn't really warned about that. So headaches, bruising, that sort of thing. And I just really wanted to prioritize my comfort and quality of life, but I
yes.
wanted to look good while doing it,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah,
Hello.
hello. I mean, come on now,
That's right.
you
And you
know?
look great. I mean, look
Yeah.
at that. Like you've done something so beautiful. You turned your pain, your worry, your hard time in your life
Mhm.
into something so creative, so beautiful that now I'm sure is giving to many others, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. I mean, fashion was something that brought me joy always, and I thought, like you said before, you get stripped down to your bare self. Why not rebuild with things that you want in your life?
Yes.
Find things that bring you joy. And so that's what fashion became for me. It became a tool to take my story back. And
Yes.
so that's how it began, where, after each round of chemo, I would go to a fabric shop nearby my hospital, shop for a few different fabrics, bring it home, have my government laptop on one side, have my fabrics and my sewing machine on the other side. And I just kind of lived between my two worlds, bouncing back and forth between style and politics. And, it just sort of was what I needed at the time. And when I came up with these pieces that really made it easier to get dressed in the morning, dress more like myself, feel more confident and comfortable. It gave me back a bit of my humanity that I thought cancer had stolen away.
Mm.
And I just knew that that is something that every cancer patient knows about and can feel and connect to. And I thought, if I can give this to myself, why can't I give this to other people?
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful
Mhm.
because just that great inspiring notion of like, you know what, although I went through something so difficult,
Mhm.
why not inspire others to know that they're not alone, that they too can get through this and also feel beautiful because
Mm.
there is that mind body connection, right? And that is so
Correct.
real. Take us through that a little bit, that mind body connection as
Mhm.
you're doing this and you're inspiring, not only yourself,
Mhm.
right, to feel beautiful, to feel yourself again, right?
Yeah.
But you're going through the process of like designing. What was that like?
Yeah, so I think the number one thing you realize, it's like a slow creep when you're a cancer patient. You go through so many changes because of treatment that on one day you can look, one way in the morning, and by afternoon you look totally different, and by evening your face has changed again. And that idea of not recognizing yourself, it's hard to show up for the person in the mirror when you don't recognize them anymore.
Mm,
And so fashion became this continuity in my life where it didn't matter if I was wearing something bedazzled, sparkly, or totally plain. Me knowing that I created that and crowned myself in that gave me that purpose and that continuity, and in knowing who I was and showing up for myself.
yes,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. And so you specialize specifically
Hmm.
in creating turbans.
Hmm.
Is that for a specific reason?
Yeah. So at the time, I went through this experiment of working with all different styles and silhouettes. I'm a self-taught fashion designer, so
Hello.
I,
Yes, we love that.
yeah, I am completely self-taught, and so what that means is I had to experiment a lot to get to the thing that I thought works for me.
Love that.
And I realized that turbans have been around for such a long time. They've been, in and out of fashion history, fashion trends, and that's because there's such a universal silhouette. It looks good on all face shapes and sizes. And at the time, I actually never wore head coverings. So for me to sort of lean into this whole new category of fashion was a big deal. And I was, wanting to do something that felt comfortable and felt like, okay, I can work with this. And so that's
Yes.
how the turban came to be.
Okay, beautiful. And
Yeah.
at what point did you realize that this was all something just bigger than you? Like,
Mm.
was it the year after you started designing, or what did it take some time for you to realize, like, wow, like this is growing?
Yeah. So when I went through treatment, I actually didn't, like I said before, I didn't share with very many people what I was going through
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like treatment took so much of a toll on me that I just wasn't, I didn't have the bandwidth to deal with anyone
Yeah.
beyond what was necessary. So, in that same time that I was kind of retreating from my social life, I was getting online and I was getting on Instagram and social media and just seeing all the other people posting about their own breast cancer journeys,
Mm-hmm.
people who were around my age, young women, and seeing that, I'm not alone, I'm not
Yes.
unique in my struggles, and that everyone is passing through this, hair loss challenge, made me realize that other people need this as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the word empowerment comes to mind.
Mm.
And how do you define empowerment through your fashion?
Wow. I think, empowerment through fashion is so personal. I think it's everyone can have their own unique definition of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think it means making a decision to show up authentically in
Ooh,
who you are and wearing your story with pride.
I love
I
that.
think like today I'm wearing all black. It's just an homage to being a New Yorker, but then I have my gold jumkis and
Yes.
something, a little bit more of a Indian inspired print on my turban. And I'm wearing my story with pride as I'm showing up for you all. And it's something that you can do for yourself. I really think fashion is a love language to yourself that you speak every day. So it's all about your relationship with you, I think.
I love that. So
Yeah.
you heard that here. It's a love language to yourself,
Yeah.
okay? And how much of your culture do
Mm.
you, put into your designs?
Yeah, I think knowing that I'm Indian and knowing the fashion and the culture from my parents' homeland, it kind of gave me that confidence to at least try to make something myself. I figured maybe I might have this like hidden talent inside of me, and
You do.
I
And you look, you did.
I'm sure glad I do. And so as you can see, that love of culture has really taken over a lot of the designs, whether it's items made from upcycled sari fabrics
Yep.
or just little finishings that I've picked out myself in the markets of Mumbai.
Okay.
It's really a love of craftsmanship and heritage that has found its way into many, many styles that we've put out
All
over
right.
the
Well,
years.
Sonia, you're a great guest because you already were pointing to some of your
Yes.
pieces. So that's a great segue because I really wanted to get into some of your
Mhm.
designs, and I know that you brought some today that you wanted to show our audience. And so y'all are very lucky, okay? And if you don't see all the designs here, it's because they're on her website, okay? Which I'm sure at the end we're gonna get to, you'll get all the information to follow her. But take us step by step on some of your inspirations, your designs, and what they mean to you.
Yes, so these three pieces are actually from our upcoming Dubai collection, which launches this month.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few special collections which we've designed while traveling. And so we have an Italy collection, we have a Paris collection, and now we're coming out with a Dubai collection, which I
Beautiful.
literally designed in the deserts of Dubai.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, so you'll see like a lot of very rich tones and finishings, as well as some flowy fabrics and other things that just really are very striking and stand out. So this particular um, design is one of our scarves. This piece right here is one of our statement pieces from the collection. And this one is something in between where it pays a little bit of an homage to that overlap between Indian culture and Dubai culture, which you'll see
Beautiful.
if you travel there. And then coming on this side, we have a special headband, which is really an homage to New York City because
Yes.
it gives me that hardware vibe that you
Mm-hmm.
see, like Tiffany's, for example, showing in their collections, and this idea of being, tough but also beautiful and soft at the same time.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Each one is so unique, but I
Mm.
can see how you said, you draw from the inspiration of your surroundings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally from the deserts of Dubai, but also your culture. And then on the other side, you have two others.
Correct.
right? Yeah, take us through those.
Yeah, so this piece is from our debut couture collection, which we premiered at New York Fashion Week.
Yes.
And this piece has customizable bows, but these bows are made from an Indian silk.
Love it.
And these
Beautiful.
can be swapped out and, can be created according to a custom outfit that you might have.
Wow.
And so that's really the beauty of our couture collection is that, we have these beautiful silhouettes and designs, but we can truly help you make it yours. And then next to this piece is one of my favorites for the upcoming summer season, which is from our activewear collection. This piece has UV-50 protection and aloe vera microcapsules in the fabric. And this is really to protect and make healthy anyone's hair and scalp, whether or not you're in cancer treatment, but especially if you are going through a sensitive time with your hair.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I can definitely relate. I'm not going to take my hat off now because I have a headpiece on. But, ladies and gentlemen, my dermatologist always tells me, protect your head because I'm a bald-headed man. And so something like that, I would totally wear, right? Because it
Absolutely.
protects you, and it's also a fashion statement, right? I'm definitely very fluid with my style. You know, one minute I could wear a fitted hat, and another minute I could wear a wig or a hairpiece, right? And I think that's the beauty of your pieces too, that they speak to everybody across the board. Do you do some designs for men too?
So for men, we have created some special pieces
Okay.
that we actually showcased with Bronx Fashion Week.
Beautiful.
And they are these gorgeous cap style headpieces made entirely with men's ties.
Really?
So we have some fancier items, but I
Okay.
do want to sort of branch out and create a little bit more for the everyday man as
Yes,
well.
yes. All
Yeah.
right. Well, one day,
Mm.
I'm pitching myself. I would love to be in one of your fashion shows.
Oh my gosh, you will have only if you take the runway.
Yes. Oh, I'll
Please.
definitely take the runway.
Yes.
You don't have to tell me twice. I love it. I love it. And so, obviously, you're ensuring that your designs are inspiring everybody across the board. Have you ever had people come up to you and say, "Oh, like I'm looking for something specific for my wedding, for my birthday, for my special occasion"? I'm sure you get that all the time.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
whether it's like a gala or a wedding or just a party, right? There are so many different pieces that we have that I truly feel like there's something for everyone. And with the couture collection I just mentioned, we explored in that particular debut the 5,000-year history of headwear. And so
Beautiful.
touching on every religion, culture, and fashion trend
Love
that you've seen over time that really stand out in history, that's the big message that I had that year, and that was on our 5-year anniversary, just letting everyone know that no matter why you wear a headpiece, you are writing your own chapter in that fashion history too. So
Yes.
whether it's something simple or something ornate, I mean, again, it goes back to that idea of dressing with pride, and I think our headpieces really remind people to do that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And talking about the runway a little bit,
Yeah.
you've graced many runways. Can
Mm.
you talk to us about some of your best moments, showcasing not only your headpieces, but
Sure.
also, your story on a runway?
Sure. So disclaimer, I have been on a lot of runways, but I was always that kid that was doing that little runway strut at home, like in
Uh-huh.
the hall,
Yes.
like watching Miss USA, watching America's Next Top Model. That was me.
Yes.
And I find it really interesting that cancer opened up that gateway of getting onto the runway and being part of this world that I
Mhm.
always dreamt of. Just recently, I was in Waco, Texas, walking for my friend's charity gala.
Beautiful.
She's the founder of Pink Warrior Angels, which raises money for breast cancer patients, but also families touched by cancer. And to be able to bring my story to that type of a environment and to show people what a cancer patient can look like, beautiful, glamorous, with a headpiece, with a gown. I mean, it really, I think, is a full circle moment where we remind not just ourselves, but anyone who's newly on that path that you're part of this story too. And anytime we have a presentation, I think it's that same message. It's just a reminder that everyone is included.
Yes.
And bringing together health and fashion has been like creating a new niche.
Yeah,
So that's
definitely.
been a very interesting challenge as an entrepreneur. But again, it's something that I think I always wonder why it wasn't already there. And I think because we were supposed to create it. Right?
Yes, exactly. Beautiful, beautiful. How do you stay grounded, right, with all the moving parts
Yeah.
of being an entrepreneur, of your story, being on the runways, but wanting to give back to the community?
Mm.
How do you do it all?
Yeah, so staying grounded, I think the community that I'm part of keeps me grounded because, at the end of the day, we are all living one life and we're all trying to fulfill our purpose. And so whether it's me with this company or if I'm meeting a new, survivor friend and she's talking to me about, her foster cats or, working with the deaf community, like being someone who has their challenges but also is finding a purpose, whether it's helping yourself, your community, or another group of people. That's something that I think makes us all so human, and grounds us all just automatically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that takes me to like as you were talking about that, it takes me to the thought of, sometimes people struggle with their not only health diagnosis, but just their identities.
Mm,
Just walking out the door,
yeah.
right? They don't feel beautiful, they don't feel this, they don't feel that, right? What would you say to that person?
Yeah, I would say that what you're going through is just absolutely normal. It's hard to adjust and to accept certain challenges that you didn't ask for, right? Like no one asks for a diagnosis, but it happens to you, and then you have to figure out what comes next. And so something that really helped me through that time and still continues to help me today is I just remind myself that each time I feel like I'm not like myself, right? Something feels different, something might feel off. I don't try to put distance between my version of me and that version. I just tell myself this is a new best friend that's coming into my life. She's part of me, and I have to just get to know her. I have to
Wow.
accept her in. I have to find what makes her feel beautiful and special and loved. And I just have to try to get to know her a little bit better.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. You just so as anybody who's in therapy, that's why I've said this so
Yeah.
beautiful because I feel like as someone who really values therapy,
Mm,
I think it's such a moment for you to recognize that
yeah.
because we need to connect with all parts of ourselves. And
Yes.
sometimes we are so disconnected from our own selves.
Yeah.
And just because you had a diagnosis does not mean that that's not part of you. That's part of your story.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so important for people to hear. So if y'all could sit with that for a moment, like sit with it. I'll just give you, and then if anything I say kind of like triggers a thought, like
Yeah.
let me know. My therapist one time said, connect with your little boy.
Mm,
Who is that little boy?
yeah.
And why can't he be present here right now? That little boy loves headpieces. He loves
Yeah.
a good wig and
Yeah.
a little moment.
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
what parts of yourself did you see come out during this whole process?
I love that you went there because I so relate to that. When I was a little girl, I had a dream of fashion. I was that kid that if my dad said, "You want to go for a walk?" I'm like, "Sure, let's go to Fifth Avenue. I just want to see what's in the windows."
Yeah.
And life kind of took its own path and I found my purpose in public service, but I always had that dream of fashion in me and being able to combine something that has a public benefit and fashion was something that I knew was on my path, but I didn't know what it looked like. And going through this diagnosis and creating that space for me to just be open and honest with myself, to have conversations with myself, to really observe the world around me and my own heart, um, gave me that permission to see these different things, the need with the hair loss, the need of a headpiece, the need of identity, and just bring it all together and create something that I absolutely had no plan for, but there was always something in my soul that told me this belongs.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So beautiful. And what legacy do you hope Style Esteem leaves behind?
Such a big
It's a big
question.
question, I know, but
Yeah.
short term and long term.
Hmm. Wow. With StyleEsteem, I really want to share that message about connecting with all parts of yourself.
Hmm, hmm.
And if it takes a crown to do it, then let that crown be something that reminds you of the royalty that you have in you. Because whatever challenge you may be going through, I want people to know you're not less of yourself when you're facing a challenge. You become more of yourself. And don't let
Yes.
anyone tell you otherwise. So, the designs that I create and the legacy that I hope to leave is a reminder to women and men of that fact of life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And what are some of the next big projects that you have coming up for Style Esteem and in general?
Sure. So, you have caught us in a launch month where we will be
Yes.
launching our Dubai collection,
Beautiful.
which will
Okay.
have hard headbands. That's a new thing we're launching.
Okay.
Beautiful scarves, turbans, scrunchies.
This is considered a hard headband?
This is considered a hard
Okay.
headband, yes. And other variety of products, including kaftans.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, girl, I'm really going to have to model for you.
We'll have a follow-up interview. It'll just be a fashion
Yes,
show.
yes, I agree.
Show and tell. So we're going to be bringing out a lot of new things for us with this collection, and then we're getting ready for the next season as well, where we're going to have a lot of partnerships to raise awareness about breast cancer. It's something that is a big part of my why. My purpose is to remind everyone to do their monthly glam self-exam
Yes.
and to just keep up with your body and to know you're normal. So our upcoming partnership with Bronx Fashion Week and American Cancer Society is going to be a wonderful fashion show that I hope all of you can join us at as we uplift and celebrate survivors. But aside from that, I mean, we're also working with nonprofits, hospitals, and government institutions to continue the conversation around women's health and to open up these spaces with the use of fashion as the medium for that conversation. So that's something that I continue to, put work into and grow.
Yes, yes, yes. And since we have a little bit of time, I wanted to do something interesting and just maybe take people through a simple step that you could do in the shower, man or
Yes.
woman. It doesn't matter. You can just proceed to just
Yeah.
feel
Shall I
around your
show?
breast tissue. If you
would you like to follow me?
I would love to follow you. Yes,
Okay.
please.
So you will do this on either side.
On either
okay,
side.
so you can do this if you're comfortable laying down or standing up in front of a mirror, or even in the shower as you might have some soap. It might make it easier to navigate. So you want to also ideally check yourself in front of a mirror as well as do the physical exam. So you will do it on either side. You will start by putting one hand up and using the opposite hand to feel all around the breast area.
Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful.
You want to also feel around the nipple area.
Okay.
You want to use like kind of a
pressure?
circle motion
short
with
circle?
pressure.
Uh-huh.
And then you can also use a longer stroke like this.
Okay.
Okay. So you
Okay.
want to just get a few different vantage points on what that area looks like and feels like. Okay. Then you want to go up into the armpit. Okay. You're going to feel around in there, sort of press in and see the depth and the texture there. And then you want to put your arm down and you want to feel in your collarbone area and in your neck area.
You're
okay?
checking for lumps.
Correct.
Gotcha.
You'll be checking physically for lumps, and then you also want to just visually look for any changes in skin texture, any nipple discharge, anything that feels anything other than normal for you. And then you
Beautiful.
want to repeat that on the other side as well. And you want to do this once a month. I like to say feel it on the first. On the first of the month, just do your glam self-exam and make
That's
it a
right.
habit.
Beautiful.
And if you need to put a little reminder in your phone, that's okay too.
Put a reminder. And Sonya, real quick, we just have a few seconds. How can people follow you?
You can find us at StyleEsteem.com or on Instagram at StyleEsteem. You can also find me, Sonya.StyleEsteem on Instagram.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. This conversation is a reminder that even life's most difficult moments, there is space for creativity. Thank you for joining the Community Spotlight podcast. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to follow Sonya. And thank you for watching. Good night.